Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Peace Talks. This is the special mini-series that we're doing on the Jazz Central Mentoring scheme. This is a scheme that's been set up to give emerging young jazz musicians in the Midlands the opportunity to develop their compositional skills, presentation and performance skills, and also to develop their sort of professional networks and their profile under the mentorship of an established musician in the UK jazz scene. It's a scheme that's been organised by the jazz bassist and also Birmingham Royal Conservatoire teacher Arnie Somogyi, and that's in association with Jazz Midlands, headed up by Phil Rose. So today we're joined by guitarist Torin Davies. Hi Torin, thanks for joining us today.
Hey.
All the way over from Amsterdam. Torin's just moved over to Amsterdam, so maybe we'll talk about that in a bit. Torin's mentor for this project is the drummer James Maddren. So yeah, hi Torin. Just got into Amsterdam in the last couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah, literally just arrived, so just settling in and trying to figure everything out. But yeah, I've already been to a gig there, so that was nice, and yeah, it's good.
Excellent. And are we allowed to ask what you're out there for?
Yeah, so I'm doing a master's program at the conservatory over here. So that starts in September. So I just came sooner to try and sort like housing and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's the master's program, but the truth is, it's more that I wanted to move to a new scene, meet new people and that kind of thing. And I think, like a master's program is a good way of meeting a lot of people quite quickly. So that's kind of the main purpose. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us today in as you're getting settled. Really appreciate it. So let's kick off talk a bit about yourself and kind of your musical journey, how you sort of started and got into music.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started playing the drums when I think I was about 7, which just came from someone coming into school and putting on a performance, of the drums, and then they offered out leaflets if you want to pick it up. So I asked my parents for drum lessons, and so from about the age of 7 to 12, I was like super into drums and particularly rock music. That was kind of music that my dad liked and what I heard in the house and that kind of thing. So that's the music I got into quite quickly. Then after I finished my grade 8 drumming exam when I think I was at maybe year 7, so just gone up to secondary school, and my dad was looking at what's the next step kind of thing, and I think some the junior conservatoire, and but they have a junior department on Saturdays that young people can go to, and for a few hours, and we have classes, but it's in jazz music. And he told me about that, and to be honest, I wasn't really too happy because I didn't really know anything about jazz music. I didn't like that idea. I liked rock music.
Right.
But I said, okay, I'll go and do the audition anyway, and it was with Mike Williams. So I met Mike, and
Oh, he was playing
great.
at Cherry Weds just this week.
I know, yeah. Sadly, I missed it. I couldn't. I was playing another gig, but yeah, I love Mike.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But, yeah, yeah. But yeah. So I met Mike there, and then started the sessions. And the group I was in had Percy Persglove, great trumpet player. So yeah, it was just immediately. I think it was Percy. He just made the classes so fun, and each week he would ask us what we'd listen to, and so it kind of encouraged that feeling of going home and like trying to check out new music and that kind of thing. And it was just really exciting, and hearing people of Percy and Mike's caliber in person was pretty inspiring, you know, because obviously I didn't know at the time, but they're probably, you know, two of the greatest musicians around. I just thought, oh, these are, you know, this is, I guess everyone that's a jazz musician, just,
Mm.
you know, this is kind of, you know. So I think I was very fortunate to, you know, my entry point was already uh, with two musicians who continue to be some of my favorite musicians around. So um, yeah, so
Fantastic.
it kind of from there really, you know, just starting juniors, and then I switched to guitar later on, before before I auditioned to conservatoires, and yeah.
Excellent. So the transition from from drums, sorry, to guitar. What kind of brought that about?
I think it was just wanting harmony and you know, melody. Not that drums can't be melodic, but all the stuff we were doing in the classes and that Percy was talking about with you know, harmony, different chords, and that kind of thing. I just wanted to. I don't know. I just needed to have a way to be involved with that. I think, and I was already playing blues guitar from the age of about 13 or 14. With I was you know, just really into Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix, and
Right.
so it was all about music and experimenting with improvisation. But it was more of a blues thing, and it was kind of like I had like a jazz thing on the drums and then a blues thing on the guitar. But then when I was around 16 or 17, I started to take my guitar to the conservatoire sessions, and yeah, that was really good. A huge learning curve, obviously, going from
Mm.
blues to jazz music. But yeah, I think the main reason I wanted to take the guitar more seriously was just to access all these amazing sounds I was hearing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the guitar a good way to do it because it's you can access some of the chords, but it's still you can be like a frontline instrument with the horn sections playing the melody as well. So it's quite a versatile instrument, I think. So yeah,
Cool. And do you still play the drums?
yeah, I do still play the drums. But they're at my parents' house because obviously you need space to have them set up. But yeah, I'd like to play more, but it's really fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's a good introduction to kind of how you got to here. One thing I've enjoyed sort of discussing with the other mentees that we've interviewed on this program, and other younger musicians that are sort of starting their careers sort of in the 21st century, when you know there's nearly a quarter of the way into that now, but it's you know, quite a different space in the music industry and sort of getting out there. What's been your experience of sort of emerging from studying and sort of getting into the world as a professional musician? You know, sort of considering things like the way that people consume music and produce music and such. You know, gigs and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's yeah, it seems totally different to even, you know, 20 years ago. If you know, if someone graduating then, but I think there's just things in your mind that, you know, it's like I feel that I will never make money from recording. You know, with Spotify and all the streaming platforms, it's just that doesn't really seem like a viable option. Um, so I think along with quite a lot of other people, you kind of fall into a pattern of I got a steady teaching job to kind of fund everything else, you know.
Mm.
Um, Still haven't quite figured out a way to make the stuff I really want to do more profitable, basically. Because you know, you can do gigs, you can do function gigs that make a decent amount of money, and you can teach where you make a decent amount of money. And I do enjoy teaching, but to do the thing I really want to do, which is I guess improvised music or jazz music, is hard. You know, it is difficult to actually make money from doing that, basically.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's just it's about having a plethora of different things, you know, not just relying on one sort of strategy or one job. Basically, I think nowadays you have to be a lot more multifaceted in what you do. I think to be really successful, you probably have to be really good at promotion and marketing and like all these different things,
Mm.
basically. Or have a team of people around you that can help with all those other things on top of the music, obviously also being of a very very high quality. So yeah, I just think now it's yeah, maybe you need to have more different skills maybe than you did before. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still exploring it. So
And how are you feeling with the gigs? I mean, obviously post COVID, there's a massive shift. I
mm,
feel that it's picking up quite well now, and certainly, I'm getting out to 3 or 4 gigs a week. And it's good
yeah,
to see a lot of the places I'm going to with a young crowd there as well. Obviously around Birmingham, you've got the Conservatoire, so there's a lot of students there that coming out. But yeah, how you? Because I keep bumping into you at various gigs. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
how are you finding that? Are you getting a good number of gigs? And is that a part of part of what you do that you really enjoy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, gigs are playing original music, whether it's my own or other people's. That's my favorite thing to do. So um, yeah, I think over the summer it usually picks up a little bit, and you get a few more things going on. So that's been really nice. Um, yeah, and I think ideally I would, you know, I'd be happy doing like four or five of those gigs a week, you know. But I think yeah, it's very hard to get to that point. And especially in the UK as well, you know, because we're seeing there's not a million places to play at. You know, it's
Mm, yeah.
if you have if you're in a few different bands that had successful tours set up, then it would be kind of possible. Um, but then, having said that, you know, I do enjoy the balance of having a couple of days of teaching and then having some time to write music and work on music as well. So it's
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I think the gigs it's definitely picked up since COVID. Hopefully, it'll continue to keep going that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned at the beginning you kind of you've gone out to Amsterdam as well as for the studying, but also for sort of changing the scene. Is there anything perhaps specific about the UK scene or specific about the Amsterdam scene that sort of moved you towards that kind of thinking, or is it
To
just a
be honest,
change?
I think well, with Amsterdam, it's just the faculty was you know, in terms of a guitarist there, it's probably the best guitar faculty in my opinion in the world for guitar. Like Renier Bass, and Jesse Van Roolen, those guys are incredible. So it's definitely part of it, and also I think the scene in Amsterdam is, I mean, obviously it's a lot bigger than Birmingham, so there's a lot more musicians around, and I don't really know anyone here, so I kind of just wanted to plunge into a new scene where I didn't know anyone and try and see how that goes, basically. And also, it's Amsterdam really feels pretty close to the UK. You know, it's like for the flight I was in the air for 15 minutes, so I don't see why there can't be more kind of um, you know, more of an exchange between the
Hmm.
two countries in terms of music and
Right.
um, people playing in Amsterdam and Birmingham and London. So I'm also hoping a lot of my friends come over as well and meet people, and you know, so it can kind of be yeah, just a nice exchange of ideas and people from both scenes basically. Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's talk a bit about your project that you've developed through this mentoring program. It's entitled Tales from the Centre. So do you want to just give us a bit of a rundown on that?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Tales from the Centre. It's a project about, um, I guess, the history of the area I grew up in. So the Midlands, um, Birmingham, Coventry, and it's just taking specific moments in the area's history and turning that into kind of a musical idea, and building on it. Um, so yeah, it's been cool. There's one called Boomtown, which basically is tries to take all the noise of car manufacturing factories and various different steel works and that kind of thing, and turn that into a musical theme to develop. So it's quite an interesting way of composing, really, when you have a kind of a initial idea you're working with. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's been cool.
Excellent. And who have you got in the band with you?
So we've got George Garford on alto saxophone, Asaf Tal on bass, and James Maddren on drums. So just a quartet, which is quite nice, um, and also kind of a challenge to me, I think, as well. Whenever I'm playing without a piano player, to accompany me, um, it's yeah, I really like it, but it's definitely a challenge, having to provide enough kind of sort of beef yourself with just for guitar. So yeah, so that's been cool.
Excellent.
Um,
So your project, you're going to be playing first for us at the Mars Bar. That's on Thursday, the 5th of September, and
mm,
then a couple of days after, as part of the Birmingham the Jazz Festival for Jazz Central Mentoring at 1000 Trades in Birmingham. That's on Saturday, the 7th of September.
yeah,
For anyone who was around last year for the mentoring program gig that we did at the Mars Bar, you were actually in Dan Lockhart's band for that one. Dan was
me,
the mentee under Alex Hitchcock that played for us last September. So again, you've got the honour of opening our autumn program for the Mars Bar in September. So we're really looking forward to that. I'd just like to finish up though on the mentoring program itself and your own sort of experiences from that. What have you sort of picked out from it? How has it helped you to develop as a musician and within your career?
mm. Yeah. I think it's, to be honest, I think one of the most important things about it is that it kind of provides a goal and a sense of direction. Um, because obviously, when you're self-employed and you're trying to make things happen yourself, sometimes it can be difficult to find the right direction and the motivation and everything. So it provides a loose framework that you can basically do what you want creatively within it, but there are some goals that you have to be accountable for, and then
Mm,
obviously having a mentor who has more experience can help guide you through that. So yeah, so I think that sense of direction is really important, and then just, I mean, for me, it was also the ability to kind of play and work with James Maddren is something that would have been really, really difficult without this scheme, because he's probably one of the most in demand drummers around, So if I just hit him, called him up and said, "Oh, do you want to do this?" He's probably, he doesn't know who I am and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
busy with stuff, so it probably wouldn't have happened. But um, the scheme basically allowed that to happen as well. So yeah, so that's yeah, one of the top points for me, I think, being able to work with him for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing the output from this and the tales from the centre being performed. As I say, for the first time, that'll be at the Mars Bar in Worcester on the 5th of September, and then at the Jazz Central Mentoring Festival in Birmingham, 1000 Trades, on the 7th of September. So thanks so much, Torin, for your time this morning. I'll let you get back to the settling in Amsterdam, and wish you well with all your studies at the conservatory there.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thanks for doing this. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to catching you in Worcester.
Fantastic. All right, take care, man.